Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Mishra Keller. I am a certified holistic health coach and the founder and director of NutriSults. And I help women who are 40-something active women and help them to get out of and stay out of chronic pain. We work on maintaining mobility as you age and help you get your life back on track so you can experience optimal health for the rest of your life. Today we are talking about tech wrist, and which a lot of us are dealing with, and I'm going to be sharing my secrets for how to get rid of your hand, your wrist, your arm, shoulder, and neck pain. So stay tuned. All right, here we go. So, gotta put my glasses on. My superpower. Activate my superpower. All right, here we go. So we're going to talk about our hands today, and I've got my notes here because, again, I've got so much to share with you guys, and I will very easily go off on a tangent, so I use my notes so I can stay on track and make sure that I share everything that I want to share with you guys. All right, so first of all, before we start, thank you to everyone who participated in the poll that I put up yesterday. And from your responses, it sounds like some of you are having pain in your hands, some of you are having pain in your neck, and it was pretty unanimous. Everyone was just taking pain medicine in order to deal with those aches and pains. So what I'm going to share with you today is above and beyond pain medicine. Pain medicine does have its uses, obviously, but when you're dealing with a chronic pain issue, and when you're dealing with a connective tissue issue, you're dealing with a stability issue, pain medicine is not always the best long-term solution. So we have some better solutions, some things that are simple and easy for you to do, and I'm going to share those with you today so that you can get out of pain and stop feeling that pain in your hands and your arms and your neck. All right. So obviously our hands are very important to us, right? Especially now in this day and age with technology. That's one of the main ways we're communicating. If you're someone who works with your hands, like you're an artist or a creative person, you work in construction, or from someone who might be very athletic and you use your hands for whatever your athletic activity is, or if you're someone who is sitting at a desk most of the day and you're using your hands to type and do your work that way, we all need to have the full function of our hands. And even just not even for our work, just to do something as simple as dress ourselves, or if you're trying to brush your teeth or thread a needle, those simple everyday things, we end up taking the health and the functionality of our hands for granted, unfortunately. So maybe today we'll shift a little perception and have a little bit more gratitude for our bodies and what they do for us from day to day. All right. So the treatment that I'm going to share with you, that I'm going to talk about today, literally thousands of people have used this treatment and these techniques to relieve their chronic pain in their hands, arms, and neck. And in fact, I remember when I first started melting, and it was actually even before I think I was about to go and do my hand and foot training. My mom was here for a visit, and I was like, "Hey mom, let me show you the stuff that I've been doing. It's really cool." And so we sat down at the table. I talked her through a hand treatment. We did it together. And when we were finished, she was sitting at the table going like this. And I was like, "Oh, she's just probably like, feeling, feels good. She's just like feeling her, her joints moving." And she said, like, totally nonchalant, "I couldn't make a fist before." And then she's sitting in front of me going like this. And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Wait a minute." It's like, "Are you telling me that before we did this hand treatment, you couldn't make a fist?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, I could curl my fingers down. She's like, this finger here, like, hardly wouldn't bend down at all. It was like I had like an open fist on this hand. But she's like, no, I couldn't curl my fingers in before. And she was sitting in front of me going like this with her hands, making fists. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, wow, like there is something to this. And I was really super excited because at that point I had already enrolled in the hand and foot training, and I was preparing to go to do that. And so I was like, wow, like I cannot wait to get this training and to get this information so I can share it with other people. I mean, my mom went from not being able to make a fist. We did a hand treatment, and then she got mobility back in her hands. Now, I'm not trying to say this is like some magical cure-all, although I think it feels like magic when I do it. And for some people, they have magical experiences when they start hydrating their connective tissue and stabilizing their joints. But it's very, very powerful. Your connective tissue system is so powerful. It's controlling and involved in every system in your body. So when you can tap into that power and you can learn how to treat it well, how to keep it healthy, it really does seem magical, the kind of transformation that you can experience when you start adding these techniques into your self-care routine. So how does this work? So, you know, a lot of us, see, I get to my notes and I go from ad-libbing, and then it's this really awkward transition. Okay, so what are we doing in here? We're reducing stiffness, like it's like with my mom, if you've got arthritic hands, or improving your tennis game. It helps improve performance. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's just a really unique whole body treatment. And how does it treat your whole body if we're just going to treat our hands? Like, how does this happen? So, for one thing, we need to remember our bodies are connected. There is no one part of us that just acts independently and just is out on an island on its own. We are all connected, okay? We are all connected. Our bodies are all connected. It's one unit. So this connective tissue is seamlessly connected from head to toe and skin to bone. So you can just treat your hands, you can just treat your feet, and the way the techniques are designed, there are global techniques that we do that help to draw the fluid up into the tissue, and that helps to affect change throughout the entire system. It's like a spider web. You ding one little area and the spider feels it's down on the bottom corner of the web. So you can do a lot with just the hand and foot treatment. The roller, I love sitting on my roller doing these things. This is transformational. We use a performance band, also transformational. Our bunion band, also transformational. But just treating your hands and your feet, you can do a lot. When I first started, it was probably a good 2 years or so, where maybe even 3 before I started using, maybe 2, it was 2, before I started using my roller consistently. Before that, I was primarily just treating my hands and feet, and that was how I was able to get out of my chronic knee pain, with just doing the hand and foot treatments. Okay, so how does this work? I'm going to show you, I think I've showed you this book before, Anatomy Trains. I love this book. This is a really great resource if you're wanting to, well, first of all, I would start with Sue Hitzman's book, because she does a really phenomenal job of distilling down all of the sciencey stuff. So if you're not really like a fashion nerd like me, and you really kind of just want some basic information and then just some applicable things that you can apply in your life, it's a really great place to start. She does a fantastic job of distilling down all the sciencey stuff. So it's super easy to understand, and these techniques obviously are super easy to do. But if you want to get a little bit more sciencey and get more into, you know, the ins and outs and how things work, Anatomy Trains, fantastic book. All right, so I said before that the system, the fascia, connective tissue is seamlessly connected. We also have these myofascial meridians that run through the body. And one of those is we call it the arm lines. And I'm going to show you this picture here. I'm a very visual person, so that's why I'm showing you pictures. So if you can see this, we have these arm lines, and you can see the blue space is the fascia. So when we talk about, and one of the reasons why I put on the poll to asking people if they had neck pain, and some of you guys do have neck pain, it could be originating with what you're doing with your hands. These repetitive movements that we do every day, especially, this texting, or if we're sitting at a desk and we're typing, using our hands a lot, it will radiate up the chain of the body. So as you can see, this is like really not very good because there's a glare. Oh, now you can see. So you can, oh gosh, there we go. So the blue here is starting at in your hands, and it's going all the way down the arm. And you can even see here, this is like behind your rib cage here. Okay? No. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this backwards. This is not behind the rib cage. This is the shoulder girdle here, is connecting here. This is the view on the other side where it's coming up. This is the back. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm like all turned around. This is the deep front line of the arm. So Mr. Bone Jangles here. The front line of the arm. And it goes right across the shoulder girdle and connects right in here. And then in the back, and then you also have your superficial front arm line that spreads even further into your rib cage. You can see it there. And then you've got a back line. And look at there. What's that connecting to? That's your neck, people. That is your neck. You see all of this fascia here, it's all connected. So when you start to affect change here, it's going to affect in either direction, right? If you're doing all these repetitive movements, your tissue's getting dehydrated, your joints are getting compressed, all of that dehydration and the effects of that, and the instability that it also causes, the information from your brain to your hand to the brain isn't traveling efficiently. All of that is going to affect and radiate up through the chain here. And conversely, when you treat the tissue, you keep it hydrated, you get that information flow, all of this is going to function better all up through the chain of the body. Okay? So you can see how this is connected. And even here on this other side, you can see here, it goes all the way down into the low back as well. So if you've got low back pain, you can start with your hands. Start treating your hands, okay? It will radiate up and you can do a lot with a little, with a hand or a foot treatment. All right, so I totally went off my script here. Let me make sure that, muscles. We had this conversation last week. It's not your muscles tightening that is causing this tension and compression in your joints and in your body and causing this pain that radiates up the arm into the neck from the hands. It's your connective tissue. Just everything that I just explained. I just want to reiterate that we are so focused on our muscles. And as I said before, your muscles are your fascia's bitch. Just to put it out there. So there's your connective tissue is informing your muscle function. So, and it's working together in conjunction with it. So you can't just separate out these parts and pieces and really be effective in trying to solve any issues that you may be having. All right, so it's your dehydrated connective tissues. Just kind of recap these repetitive movements of whatever you're doing, typing, if you use your hands, massage therapists, construction workers, anybody, if you're using your hands in a repetitive way, this causes dehydration and compression. Dehydration in your connective tissue, compression in your joints that can radiate from the hands up the chain here, up the arm, into the neck. It can even affect your low back. And this is what is causing the stiffness and the aches in the body. Okay, so what do we do about it? Obviously, we melt. So the technique that I wanted to or the map that I wanted to highlight today, you use your large softball and your large, I have to think about this every time I say it wrong. Your large softball and your small softball, okay? These are the two you want to use. When you first start melting, you really want to just focus on using your large softball. And just use this for, at least a couple weeks or so before you start adding in the smaller balls and then even the firm balls as well. You're just going to get more targeted compression with these firm and the smaller balls, and you don't want to go too deep too fast. So if you're just getting started with melt, just focus on this large softball to start. All right, so we're going to, in this map, we have the typical elements of a melt map. We're going to glide. We glide our hands. The gliding is a preparatory technique. It helps to prepare the tissue for the fluid exchange that we do in the next step. It's also an exploratory technique. It helps you to, again, one of the most powerful things about melt to me is this idea of going inside your body, sensing what you're feeling, and understanding what your body is trying to tell you. Our bodies are always trying to give us information. They're always communicating with us so that we can give it what it needs, so it can give us what we need. So I feel like this aspect within the melt method, that you are encouraged to go inside your body, sense what you're feeling. We have these, like the glide technique. It's an exploratory technique. It helps you to, get in there and notice what you're feeling, right? So that you're not just blindly going through your day in a disconnected way and then you're wondering why you don't feel well. If you just take a moment, get in there, listen to your body, it will tell you why you don't feel well. So gliding, again, prepares the tissue and it's exploratory. Then we shear. The shearing is actually making the fluid exchange, it's creating the fluid exchange, it's creating more volume of space for the fluid to occupy. And then we do friction and rinse. The friction technique, I'll just show you that real quick. Really simple, easy to do. This helps to also stimulate your lymphatic system. Your lymph and your fascia are connected. You have lymphatic channels in the connective tissue that help to draw all those toxins and things out that your body doesn't need anymore. And then the rinse technique is that global technique I mentioned before that helps to draw that fluid. You just create the fluid exchange up, so draw that fluid up into the tissue so that you are creating an exchange or creating an effect in the body, in your whole body. Okay? So the technique that I want to highlight that I kind of skipped that you have in the middle is knuckle decompress. So, sorry, I just want to check my notes to make sure I was doing what I was supposed to do. Okay, so this is a really, really good technique, and I would admit that I don't do it enough. Oh, one thing, I have my water here to remind, because I always forget. You always want to drink some water before and after you melt. So not only is my mouth dry from talking, I'm going to have a little water. You have a little bit more water than that, but I'm just going to take a sip for now. Okay. You don't need to drink a lot of water. Just have like a glass of water. Okay, so you're going to take your small softball and you're just going to put it in between here. And then you're just going to squeeze it. And you can even, if you want, like kind of push it up here and hold it in place. And really what you're trying to do, I don't know if you can see my knuckles moving here. And you want to just get some movement in those joints. And you want to do that 3 or 4 times and then switch. And you're just squeezing and releasing the ball. And again, just noticing that you've got some movement and play in those knuckles. This one is like really hard. I don't do this one often enough. But clearly I need to, don't I? And then you want to do your thumb. So just squeezing that 3 or 4 times. And you guys, these are so simple, but they, like, I already feel a difference in how my hands feels with this, with just doing that knuckle decompress. So if you are experiencing pain in your hands, you've got stuff going on in your wrist, you're feeling it up the arm, even into your neck, you want to start doing some hand treatments, some melt hand treatments, and add this technique into your map. This knuckle decompress. This is a game changer. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to recap again. What did we talk about today? Tech wrist. All of these repetitive movements that we're doing, a lot of typing, a lot of texting, are causing connective tissue dehydration and compression in your joints. And that the compression dehydration radiates up the arm. And so if you're having a neck issue, again, I say this all the time, where the pain is, a lot of times is not where the problem is. Okay? So if you're having problems in your neck, treat your hands. Start with your hands. You can do a lot with the hand treatment. Okay. So next thing I was going to say was, if you want to learn how to do this, yes, you guys know what to do. You DM me. That's how you get started. And I can teach you all of these techniques. I can teach you glide, shear, rinse. Teach you this knuckle decompression. Okay? And right now what I'm doing is I've opened up membership to the NutrisultsFitClub. I said that really weird. NutrisultsFitClub. And the Fit Club is part of our Nutrisults community site, our virtual community. And this is the area of our site, our club, for people who are ready to take some action. They're ready to make some change. They're ready to stop feeling gross in their bodies. They're ready to get rid of their chronic pain. These people are concerned about their mobility issues and concerned as they age. They want to make sure that they are mobile. They can continue to move and get on the floor, play with your grandkids, play with your kids, all of those things. So these are women who are this is important to them and they're ready to take action. So joining the Fit Club is where you want to start with incorporating these techniques, and we do a lot of fun stuff there together as well. So again, this is a virtual experience, and even though it's called a Fit Club, it's not your normal kind of workout, I don't know, thing to join, club, whatever, because we do a lot of unique things in this club. And the main thing is that we are focusing on connective tissue hydration and joint stability. When I started learning these things years ago, and I've been health coaching for almost 10 years at that point, and once I started learning about the connective tissue and the power that it has and the influence that it has over every other system in the body, I was like, well, this is where we need to start, right? So you could be eating well because your diet doesn't affect your connective tissue. You could be exercising. Exercising can sometimes cause dehydration in the connective tissue. Sometimes it does cause connective tissue dehydration. So if you're not doing these things, if you don't have any way of taking care of the system, then you're doing a lot of those other healthy activities in vain. And chronic stress is one of those things that it's basically the kind of the cause of all the things that break down in our bodies. So incorporating these techniques also helps to bring balance to your nervous system, and it helps you to battle some of that chronic stress and help your body better manage that chronic stress. So it does so many things. So that's why this is kind of the foundation of what we do. And that's the foundation of what we do in the Fit Club. And what do you get? You get, first of all, you get me. Yay. But you get access to me. You pretty much have 24/7 access to me. I'm not going to message you back in the middle of the night. But if you have a question, you can reach me there. And not only me, you're getting plugged into a community of other women who are just like you, who are active, who want to keep their bodies healthy, or maybe dealing with some kind of pain issue that they're ready to solve. And you get to create meaningful connections with other women who are just like you. And that is probably the most powerful thing about our virtual network. And so you're going to get me, you're going to get all of the other women in the network, and we're going to be there supporting each other, celebrating each other's wins, and having a lot of fun while we are taking really great care of ourselves. Okay, so that's the first thing. You get me, you get the community. You're going to get a 90-minute session with me, and I'm going to create a personalized melt map just for you. We're going to look at your top health goals, top pain points, and I'm going to create that map for you to get you started. You're going to get your melt tools. I'm going to gift your melt tools to you so that you have everything that you need to be successful. You're going to get a set of rip sticks as well, because we do the movement. We do a movement class. We do pound fitness, and then you're going to get unlimited weekly virtual classes. And these classes are really, I like to call them practice times, right? So it's your time to dedicate to your self-care, to your self-care practice, and for you to come and refine any melt method techniques that I've taught you during the 90-minute session. You can refine those techniques. You can get your questions answered. You can learn new techniques and new maps. So I'm calling those our practice time. So we do, we have time to practice our melt techniques. We have time to practice mindfulness in our melt and meditation class, where we put those two things together. And then we get to practice putting all these things together and moving our bodies and having a great time in our pound fitness class. You are also going to get access to monthly workshops that are themed. So say, for example, while you're here today, you've got hand, wrist, arm, neck issues, we'll do a special map specifically for those, not only including the hand and foot treatments that we talked about today, but also doing some work on the roller as well. So those 90-minute workshops are specifically for like a theme of something. Let's see, what else do you get? Let's check on my notes. Oh, yeah, coming up. Something that's coming up soon, and next month we are opening up our registration for one of our yearly group programs. So these are intensives where we're dedicating a specific amount of time to really dive deep into these techniques, diving deep into your own personal maps, helping you craft your own personal maps, and also helping you make sure that you have the coaching and support that you need, the tools that you need to incorporate these things into your self-care routine on a regular basis, because that's super important. So we've got 2 times a year that we do those intensives. One of them is coming up, and when you're a member, you get first access to those. And those are small groups, so I kind of do these things in really kind of an intimate way, because I want to make sure that I'm giving the most attention to you guys that I can. So you get first dibs on those group programs. And then you also get discounts. That's awesome. Okay, so what else? I think that's it. So I'm only taking 25 people, 25 new members into the Fit Club, and the enrollment is only open once a year, and that's now, and that ends on July 31st. So it either ends either ends July 31st or when that 25th person signs up. And I've already had some people sign up for the Fit Club, so those 25 spots are really probably about 20 spots at this point. So if you're interested and you want to learn more, you want to join us, DM me and let's set up a discovery session and let's get you started. All right. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I thought this was going to be a short one today, but I rambled on. But at any rate, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, please DM me if you're dealing with any of these pain issues. I would love to help you. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to live in pain. There are simple, easy things that you can do that are highly effective, and so that you can love living in your body and experience optimal health for the rest of your life. Thank you so much, and I will see you later. Bye.